we follow these images, as we look at these images that are coming in from Iran, we forget sometimes that for many people who live in the United States, I was just talking to her, she's in Tehran, but for people who live here in the United States, this is not an international story. Joining me now are two students who fit that bill. One is Kaveh Manizad, the other is Farzban. They are both Iranians, but they're coming at this from very different viewpoints. Kaveh, let me begin with you, if I possibly can. You support Ahmadinejad?
Yes, sir.
Do you think this election was fair?
I believe it was.
What do you say to people who are protesting in the streets, 7 who've been killed, arguing that it wasn't fair?
Well, even if it wasn't fair, there are legal ways for them to pursue it. It's not, I think it's not a right choice to just get into the street, vandalize public property, and expect to get something nice in return. You cannot attack a military post and
But hold on a minute. This is dissidence. You're not saying we as Americans hold true to the belief that we have a right to oppose our government when our government does something wrong. We believe and we respect the people of Iran who are doing that right now. Why shouldn't we?
Well, here's the thing. I really think Iranian people should respect the law more than what they're doing right now. I'm not saying they're not respecting it.
What is disrespectful about protesting something you think is wrong?
All right. These protests were banned to begin with, so they couldn't really get into the street and start protesting.
They were banned?
They were banned, yes.
Should they be banned?
Well,
it's the people's right to say what they think.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But you're dealing with a government that is. I'm not saying Iranian government, Iranian laws are the freest law in the world.
Right.
I'm not totally.
So what are you saying?
Well, I'm saying if they approach it legally, if they go to the guardian council, if they come up with detail of their perspective, whatever they're thinking,
that creates a bit of a prior restraint, something we as Americans are a little bit afraid of. You've got to tell the government your plans before you do something. You're basically cluing them in. I want to bring you now into this as well. Let me start with the same question. He said the elections were fair. Can you say they weren't? And provide us something more than just an opinion.
Okay. Well, this time more than 80% of the people came out to vote, and it was unprecedented, I can say, in the last 20 years. But the speeding of the counting of the votes was much faster. They announced the votes, and then the final results were the next morning, and they couldn't do that. It's like they did their job 10 times faster.
You think it was predetermined?
Yeah, and this is the graph that shows that...
Can you get a shot of this, Johnny? We were talking about this earlier. Go ahead and explain what the significance of this is.
This is the votes as they are counted, and you see that it is almost linear. It's like you engineered the votes, that the outcome would be, for example, 65% to 30%.
And you're saying in normal circumstances that would be
in American standards, it's like all the states, when they start counting, no matter they're red or blue, the result is Obama is winning in every other state, and as they count...
Where do you think this thing, before we let you guys go, because we're running out of time, where do you think this thing is going to end up? What would satisfy you? A recount or a new election?
New election?
Only.
Well, actually, I'm going that whatever they decide, I mean the other 3 candidates.
Do you think a recount could be fair? Do you trust the clerks?
To be honest, no.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. We'll bring you guys back because we're running out of time. My thanks to both of you guys for a spirited discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
When we come back, keeping our kids in school, a new push. Stay with us.